Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Hello friends, and welcome to Fairfield Today. I'm your host, Paul Jassogne. Thank you for joining us. Fairfield Today underway, and going to start our show today with one of our favorite people to have on, Temple-Custer Montanez. Welcome.
Hi, Paul. Thanks for having me.
So we have you on a couple times a year, but when we have you on this time of year, we know that it must be DD Awareness Month. Am I close on that?
You're right on. You're beyond close.
All right.
Hit the
March
nail on the head.
March is it.
March is National Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month, declared so actually by President Ronald Reagan back in the 80s.
Wow.
And we have been recognizing it ever since. And locally, with Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, we do a variety of things every year to sort of boost the awareness, if you will. But I got to tell you, our community is so fantastic and you know, is really embracing the idea of inclusion for people with and without disabilities, that we're great all year round. And those Kiwanians, with that new park, you know, there's a lot of great things going on.
We'll talk about that.
We will.
Temple is Director of Community Relations, so, you know, she's got stuff going on all year, but this is really a big time. I know you have the big banquet coming up. What is that, March 26th?
March 26th is the 12th annual celebration of possibilities.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
That's
just like the movie.
How did we come up with that theme?
Well, you know, as we talk more and more about technology and how it aids in healthcare in general, any type of healthcare, but specifically with developmental disabilities, you know, the more you see great inventions come about, the more you pause and think, wow, how did we do without this, right? I mean, we say it all the time about, you know, cell phones and computers, and how did we do without this? And when we talk about the world of developmental disabilities, that is certainly the case. I mean, technology now is allowing people to communicate with one another, even when they're non-communicative. People who don't physically speak are communicating thoughts, feelings, ideas, and we're finding out, you know, so much more than we ever knew before. You know, what technology is doing for helping people to be able to be mobile, to move, is amazing as well. So, you know, you really can't look to those futuristic types of concepts without thinking, what was it like before?
Oh, so I see a theme coming here.
Yeah, do ya?
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Nice.
So yeah, so we're really excited about this theme. You know, we're going to have some demonstrations this year, which is something we've never done before with Celebration of Possibilities. We're actually going to have a robot on stage, a little robot.
On the 26th?
Yeah, we've got a robot on staff at Forest Rose School. So, and by the way, I think every school should have a robot on staff.
We'll work on that.
But yeah, we have a robot on staff, and he will be there, and he will be entertaining the crowd.
Does he have a name?
He does. His name is Now. N-A-O. I know it's hard.
Stands for something.
It's probably Asian. You know, I don't want to assume that the robot was manufactured in Asia, but I'm just going to say his name was Now.
No coronavirus coming with him.
Nope. He's been here a while. He's safe.
Right.
He's been in the country a few years.
Very good.
But we will have some other demonstrations of technology and what technology is allowing people to do. I have to say, one of the best things that I see with technology right now is what we call remote supports. And that's companies that will mount small cameras in your home, and there's a monitoring device. And so people who used to have 24-hour in-home care don't have to have that anymore, because they can go 6, 8, 12, 10 hours with remote monitoring.
They feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah, and they get independence. I mean, imagine that. I mean, I know how I feel when the in-laws come for the holidays, let alone if I had people in my house 24 hours a day.
No.
And it's something that we take for granted, that right to privacy, that right to independence. And so these remote monitoring devices are just one way that technology is changing the world for people with disabilities and the elderly too. I mean, you know, it's a great concept. So we'll be talking about all that kind of cool stuff, and there may or may not be a DeLorean present at the Celebration of Possibilities this year.
Nice.
You might not want to give anything away, but your friends at Interface Video may be helping with that.
So it's DD Awareness Month. We've established that. When we're talking numbers of people, what kind of numbers do you support out there?
We're on the rise. Currently in Fairfield County, we are supporting 1,350 individuals with developmental disabilities and their families.
Ooh.
And it's really important that we put that other component in there, and their families, because we do recognize that when we are supporting one person, we're supporting an entire clan, if you will, of people that surround that individual, that love that individual, and it's definitely a team effort. So yeah, and about half of those are children, or at least under the age of 18.
So this remote support, is that something that's occurring now with some of these people?
Yeah. We have 2 or 3 individuals right now in Fairfield County that are using remote support, and it's fascinating. One gentleman, I went over to his house and got to see how his was set up, and there is privacy. There's not cameras in the bathroom. But it's enough that there's sensors on the floor so they can tell if an individual doesn't get up in the morning when he should.
No, where is that broadcast to? Your place?
No, it's
a company?
It's an independent company. When he comes home, for example, the day I was there, he was out doing laundry, and so when he came home, he checked in with them, hit the button, let them know he was home safely, and he'd been at the laundry mat.
Then begins.
Yeah, and then they say, okay, Paul, have a great day, and that's it, and then he's independent.
Yeah.
So it's
Very
tremendous.
Nice. Very
and think
nice.
what that would do for, the aging population.
I think back even, hopefully not that many years ago when I was young, but these people were really put off to the side. They were in different classes.
Yes.
When we were in school, there were special classes for them. Regular kids had these classes. They had now it's all about mainstreaming and in this case, more independence than perhaps they've ever had.
Absolutely. And helping the community be prepared to receive and serve them as members of the community like they would anyone else. Making buildings more accessible, making sidewalks more accessible, making schools more accessible. Forest Rose School, for example, is still in existence. We have about 55 students there. Some of those are preschool. We have an integrated preschool program there. As you get to the older grades, 3rd, 4th, 5th, on up through high school, those students tend to be predominantly more medically fragile. And the reason that they are not in their home schools is simply because their medical needs are so great that their home schools many times can't accommodate them. So we're hoping that with the development of more and more technology, that they will be able to accommodate them. And it's been really interesting now, as more and more schools are being built, that we're being able to have a little bit of input and say, hey, we need to think about some of these other things as we build new schools, as we build new public facilities. That's very exciting for us too, because the schools that our children are in right now, or my daughter's in, was built in the 50s and the 60s, and they weren't built to accommodate children with special needs or disabilities of any kind, developmental or otherwise. So those things are being taken into account now. If you go into these elementary schools here, the Lancaster City elementary schools, there's elevators. That wasn't even something we thought of before. There's no elevator at General Sherman, but there will be in the new one.
Yeah.
So those little, advancements that we take for granted are all, thankfully due to a community that's open to inclusion and to a society that's open to technology.
Well, it's good the schools want your input.
Yes.
You don't have to force
I
them
don't know
on
if they
them.
particularly want mine.
Well, I think they do. I think Steve Wigton personally
Yes, he
would
does.
ask for your input
Steve,
on the schools.
I'm sure
so
Steve
it's
loves
going
to
to be
hear
pretty
from me.
exciting then in a few years.
Yeah.
The high school's going to have that.
Yeah.
So who knows where they'll be even in 3 or 4 years.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And so, we always say our goal, believe it or not, with Forest Rose is to sort of work ourselves out of a job. To get to a point where those students are in their home schools. And that's important because that's where their neighbors are. That's where their brothers and sisters are. So to have them in a different school is segregation in a form. Now, I will say we take tremendous care of them. They're in a full learning curriculum. They follow and obtain all of the guidelines set forth by, the Ohio educational, rules and regulations. But it's about inclusion.
Talking with Temple-Custer Montanez. She's Director of Community Relations for the Fairfield County DD. And we've got the big banquet coming up on the 26th, March 26th, let's clear that up. It's all, and you work very hard every year to keep it fresh. We already talked about some things you're going. I know you'll have a special guest coming in this year.
We do. We have a really interesting guy. His name is Christopher Milo. He's from this area, lives in northern Ohio. He is an ex-football player. He's a virtuoso pianist. He has dyslexia. He has an individual in his family with developmental disabilities. He was bullied growing up, and he is a really talented speaker who goes around and works predominantly with children about his 13 messages of, and they're pretty much all love and faith-based, but about being accepting of everybody and everything. So I think people will really enjoy him. He does have a mohawk, so I need to prepare you.
Wow.
Yeah, so I just want you to think about that so you don't come up with any one-liners for him.
All right, we'll see how that works. Okay. So that's coming up on the 26th. We've got a couple of weeks yet. Tables still available, seats still available?
Seats are still available. You can get those by calling us at Fairfield DD at 652-7220. Again, you can find all that information on our website at fairfielddd.com.
And I think it's worth mentioning too here as we head into the to the banquet time, a couple of weeks away. Again, it's all part of awareness and DD Awareness Month. I know you got some awards from Fairfield County.
You've
got
the
a nice proclamation,
yeah.
and you got to speak a little bit in front of City Council.
Yes,
so, as you indicated, the whole community here, it's very open and wanting your input.
Absolutely. I mean, Fairfield County is, we like to brag that, we are so lucky because we're in one of the more forward-thinking counties, believe it or not. And around the state, we are recognized as being, one of the leaders when it comes to forging the way for people with developmental disabilities and their families to live more fulfilling lives.
So the banquet's 26. We've got a couple minutes left. Let's mention what you have down at Art and Clay on the 24th.
Goodness.
Tell us about this.
We have a lot of things going on. So on the 24th,
Yes.
Christopher Milo, who is our talent, as I mentioned before, is going to be doing a concert with his piano.
Oh, nice.
Speaking to the crowd. He may have his book there for people to see, but just really interacting with people and giving them a chance to get a little bit more access to him. When we met Christopher, or when John Picar, our superintendent, met Christopher, he was so impressed that he thought, we've got to make this guy accessible to the community for the whole week. So he actually is going to do that event on Tuesday night at Art and Clay.
That's a little different, isn't it?
It is. We've
Bringing
never
early?
done that before. He's going to do a private event for our families of people supported by Fairfield DD. He's going to do an all-staff training day for our staff. So every single day he's going to speak at Kiwanis and Rotary. He will be in town all week, and we will be, carting him around to everywhere that we can so that more people have access to his message.
So other than that, you have like nothing going on?
Yeah, other than that, it's just,
Pretty calm?
Yeah, it's very calm.
Pretty calm?
Yeah, just relaxing. It's
DD
fine.
Awareness Month, the big banquet is the 26th. You can go online, look up developmental disabilities, Fairfield County. They've got all kind of good stuff on the website, all kind of information, how you obtain tickets, how you get tables, lots of awards given out up there.
Yeah, and you're going to be on
Pretty
stage with me,
well,
too.
There's a rumor.
Uh-huh.
We'll see. Anyway, Temple, boy, it's an exciting time for you and for the DD program in general. And golly, it's going to be fun month, and it's just beginning. Here we are.
It's just beginning.
Still got 2-3 weeks to go.
Thank you for having us and for allowing us to tell everyone all the good news.
Well, we're excited about it.
Yeah.
Fairfield DD,
Thank
they've
you.
got their
Appreciate
Developmental Disabilities Month, March 26th. It's pretty exciting. Get online, get information all about tickets, everything. Thank you, Temple, for being
Thanks,
with us.
Paul.
We'll be
Appreciate
back
it.
on Fairfield Today.
Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Our people make the difference.
It's a hometown bank. It's located here in Fairfield County. Branches are convenient. They're located here in Pickerington, where my office is. I'm in Lancaster a lot, and they have plenty of branches there. And I much prefer dealing with the hometown banks rather than the larger nationwide chain banks.
So far, everybody's been so personable, and for us to bank with the local bank, and we bank in Lancaster, it's been so wonderful because we'll call somebody, Steve will call somebody, and they'll get back to us right away, or they'll say, okay, we're going to make a decision in the basement tomorrow, and they'll get back to us, rather than calling a bigger bank where we had to wait and we didn't always get the same person the next time we called for a investment banking opportunity, or getting something appraised, any of those kind of things.
Everybody is very customer friendly. A lot of times I'll bring my dog Bear with me, and the staff love him here, and of course he loves them and the treats that he gets. So it's just a nice kind of a family type environment.
Personal or business banking, whatever you need, we take it seriously because we know you do. Stop by today at any of our 3 locations and see why the difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back to Fairfield Today. I'm Paul Jassogne, your host. Thank you for joining us. And we are, of course, broadcasting and telecasting from the lobby of Fairfield Federal downtown. And I was thinking, as we get into the springtime of the year and the weather starts to, I won't say break because that has been too bad, but as it really starts to bloom and things start happening out there springtime, people start thinking lots about renovations to their home. Maybe you've been contemplating that all winter. Maybe I want to build a deck on my house. Maybe I'd like to enlarge that kitchen, put an addition on. Lots of ways to spend money in the home, we know that. And if you're looking for an opportunity to get that money, a place would be to look at fairfieldfederal.com. That's the website of these good folks here. They have offices here on the west side and up in Pickerington. And if you go to fairfieldfederal.com, again, this is a local business that makes local decisions. So they would help you. You can contact somebody live, talk to a person. It's not a recording. You won't get that. You'll get a person here who'll help you through this whole process if you're interested in perhaps adding on. Well, how do I go about getting a construction loan? What do I need to do, a renovation to my home? Talk to one of the folks here, the west side, up in Pickerington, whatever's best for you. But a good place to start is, again, fairfieldfederal.com. They've got the information on rates, on how money is obtained, where the locations are that you can talk, who you need to talk to, who your personal banker will be through this process. So if you're looking for a place to start and talk about money for some project you might have with your home, Fairfield Federal .com is a good place to start. fairfieldfederal.com. And again, as we get into this springtime of the year, one of the fun things we get to talk about, we talked about with Victor Jones a couple of weeks ago and all the plays they have going on down at Ohio University Lancaster. They've got lots as we head into the summer and then eventually to the festival time. You know, Victor, he's always got something in the works they're planning. So we talked to him. But one of the other springtime places we always get to talk about is Fisher Catholic High School. And they always have their musical this time of year. And this year it's one that I think most of us are pretty familiar with, Cinderella. And it's going to be a great musical play. Going to be out at Fisher Catholic on March 19th and 20th at 7 p.m. and then on the 21st at 3 p.m. So Thursday, Friday in the evening, Saturday at 3 p.m. And Mary Walsh, who is our contact up at Fisher Catholic, always does a good job of kind of linking us up with some of the young people. In this case, we're very fortunate here to have the Prince and Cinderella with us today. We are indeed honored to have that. I'd like to introduce my far right, Ben Shaw, and in the middle here, Taylor Stanton. So I'll guess, Ben, you're the Prince. I'll go with that.
Yes, I am.
And Cinderella.
Yeah.
See, I'm pretty good at this. That's not my first play I've done. So, well, that would be a good place to start with you. Is this the first play you've done? Here you are, both juniors at Fisher Catholic High School. You have the leads in this year. Taylor, we'll start with you. Is this your first play?
No.
No, you've done this lots?
Yeah, I think this is 6 years.
6 years? So
Yeah.
you did this as a young person coming up through. You've done it several?
Yeah.
Musicals? Have they all been musicals or just
Yes.
plays?
All musicals.
So that's really your thing, is doing the music part, right? You like doing that. So is this your first lead?
Yes.
Yes. So it's a lot on you on this, huh? Lot to think about, a lot to get involved, and
Yeah.
you know. So when did all this start for you? When did you have tryouts, and when did all this begin?
I think October.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Pretty much consumed your evenings and
Yep,
weekends
for
and
sure.
everything. What are some of the other things you're involved in at Fisher Catholic as a junior?
I am vice president of the Interact Club, which is a community service club,
Nice.
and I'm part of Irish for Life and MHS.
Does this kind of put a crimp in some of those other things, or are you still able to just kind of fulfill all your duties in those other ways?
It's hard, but I'm able to.
It's probably something worth doing, you think?
Yeah,
you
for
enjoy
sure.
that? And Ben, tell us about your story. You're a junior out at Fisher Catholic. I'm going to guess, being the lead right here, not your first play either.
Yes, not my first play. I came to St. Mary's in 7th grade, and I was Snoopy in A Good Man, Charlie Brown.
That might be a lead, some sort of lead there.
Yes.
I don't know. Sure.
So I've been doing musicals from 7th grade all the way up until now. So.
Have you done plays that aren't musicals, or is musicals really did you do other acting, say, as a younger person, and then you get into the plays? Do you like the music aspect of it the best?
Yes,
really?
Music is definitely my
you
thing
enjoy
to do.
that?
Yes, I enjoy it a lot.
No, so you're juniors now. You don't really have probably too many plans made beyond becoming seniors. That's probably is the extent of your forward thinking right now. But as you look forward beyond high school, is that something maybe you think you'd like to pursue, is stay into this musical thing? Victor, like I say, Victor Jones out here at OUL, tremendous acting program. So, I mean, you can do that about anywhere you want. Is that something that would interest you beyond high school, if it presented itself? Yes,
I would definitely want, if it presented itself, then yes, I would more than love to do that.
How about you? Is that something beyond high school that you would like to perhaps pursue a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's the experience been like being, now you're juniors, you've got the lead, Cinderella, everybody knows the story. How many people are in the cast? Do you know how many people? Don't look at Mrs. Walsh, she's not going to help you here. You're on your own.
22.
Wow, big cast, 22 people, and so everybody sings. You have moments when the entire cast is involved in this?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, Cinderella, I'm sure you knew the story. When you try out for this, do you try out for the lead, or how does that work? You just try out for a part, or you try out for a certain part?
I tried out for Cinderella.
Cinderella. And probably other young people there who aren't speaking to you now, they don't want to talk to you anymore because you got it?
No hard feelings.
All right. I didn't know if that was the case or not, if they still talk. So, and I think one thing is kind of cool about this is so often people will do plays and you work and work and work. And, we have a couple places here in town, Lancaster Playhouse and the Garrett Players. And so often, they go into this, they work, they do all the things that you're doing. Some cases they're musicals, sometimes just plays. But they only do it one time. And I often think that's a lot of work for one show. But at least you get to do it more times than this. You get the show to packed houses, I'm sure, out there. So you got to be pretty excited about this. Now we're getting down to it. Always before, probably it's 2 months away, and we're still working. But now, here we are, a couple of weeks away, and you got to be thinking, nerves get to you a little bit, or?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's it. No matter how good you are at this, and I'm sure you guys are excellent at it. How many songs do you sing?
I'm not sure, but a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
And that would be the same number
Yes.
for you, a lot.
Yeah.
Officially, a lot. Okay. Miss Walsh works you pretty hard. Does she?
Yeah,
pretty
does.
tough.
She does.
But
Yep.
I'm sure it's going to pay off here. We're going to see about that in a little bit. We're going to have an opportunity to come back. We're going to have these young folks talk with or sing for us here. Going to get a little sample of what Cinderella would look like. And again, it's March 19th and 20th, 7 p.m. out at the high school, and then the 21st is Saturday at 3 o'clock. And I didn't ask Miss Walsh this, but do you know how you get tickets?
There is a website that you can go to.
And would you have any idea what that website is?
Fisher Catholic.
Oh, the Fisher Catholic
Yeah.
website.
Yeah.
So just go on the high school website, and then you can find out. Would that be right, Miss Walsh? Okay. We have somebody out here to help us, to coach us through this. Every year, she's there to help me and the young people here. Me more than them. They know what they're doing. So just go to the high school website. You can find the information
Yes.
here. Yeah. So I didn't ask you, Ben, what other things you're involved with too. She's involved with several other activities.
Yes.
I'm sure that's the case with you.
Yes, I am a member of the Interact Club, and then I'm also a member of the Irish for Life Club, which I'm.
Irish for Life.
Yep.
Nice.
And I also do a lot of sports, and
So does this cut in any to that? What sports do you do?
Yes,
Any
I do.
of the fall or winter sports we just came through?
yes, currently I'm in basketball,
Ooh.
and it's been a little rough trying to schedule, but I enjoy I like to keep busy.
But, and just before we move on, again, we're going to hear him sing in just a couple minutes, but tell me about this Interact Club. I don't think I've ever heard of that. What does that do?
We basically try to do a lot of community service around Lancaster, and then right after, we leave the day after the musical, actually. We're going to New York to work for the Fuller Center for Housing. So
Nice.
I'm excited about that.
Is that the housing? Habitat for Humanity?
It used to be Habitat for
Okay,
Humanity,
now
yeah.
it's for housing. In New York?
Yes.
Wow, you going to?
I'm not.
You're not, okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to leave him here and move on and do bigger and better things. Well, it's an exciting time. Again, it's the musical Cinderella, and we've got the two stars with us here. The Prince is Ben Shaw, and Cinderella is Taylor Stanton. And we understand we're going to be graced by your presence with a song. Would that be correct?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to do that. So we're going to step away, and then we're going to come back. We'll hear Ben and Taylor sing from the Fisher Catholic musical coming up 19th, 20th, and the 21st, Cinderella. We'll be right back.
Do I love you because you're beautiful? Or are you beautiful because I love you? Am I making believe I see in you a girl too perfect to be really true? Do I want you because you're wonderful? Or are you wonderful because I want you? Are you the sweet invention of a lover's dream? Or are you really as wonderful as you seem?
Am I making believe I see in you a man too perfect to be really true? Do I want you because you're wonderful? Or are you wonderful because I want you?
I want you. Are you the sweet invention of a lover's dream? Or are you really as wonderful as you seem? Are you really as wonderful as you seem?
Wow, tough act to follow there. They did such a great job there. And again, this is from the Fisher Catholic movie Cinderella. And Mary Walsh, who's kind of, again, our contact at Fisher Catholic, gave us some good information here about Cinderella. This is the only Rodgers and Hammerstein musical written for television, the only one. It was originally broadcast on March 31st, 1957 on CBS. That'd be Channel 10 around here in those days. And it had Julie Andrews in the title role, and 100 million people watched it in 1957. It's been remade for television twice, 65. Had Leslie Ann Warren as the star, and then 1997, Brandy Norwood starred as Cinderella, and Whitney Houston, if you remember that name, appeared as the fairy godmother. And different versions of this have been a musical adapted for the stage, and it finally hit Broadway in 2013. So now it's finally hit Fisher Catholic in 2020. And again, we've got Ben Shaw and Taylor Stanton with us here. And again, super job. Very exciting here. So you've still got a couple of weeks to really perfect this. I don't know where you go from here. You sound pretty good right here. So gosh, best of luck on this. It's going to be great fun. Pretty exciting to be up there. You've done it before. It must be when you actually get to the broadcast. That's when the rush really begins. So when you're actually up there singing and talking to your friends and stuff out there, can you see them out there when you're up there, or are the lights that you just kind of block it out? What's your train of thought right then?
I can't really see anyone. The lights are too bright.
Maybe that's good. Maybe you just can concentrate on what you do. Yes. So again, this is Cinderella, the Fisher Catholic movie. Our Fisher Catholic play movie. It's a Rodgers and Hammerstein. It'll be March 19th and 20th, Thursday and Friday. Then the 21st, 19th, 20th, it's 7 o'clock. Then the 21st, it's at 3 o'clock. We'll also give a plug here to incoming in April, St. Mary's. Were you in some of these plays too?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Where they're going to present Frozen Junior. That's April 23rd. 1 and 7 p.m., and then April 24th at 7 p.m. So lots going on up at Fisher Catholic St. Mary's coming up in the singing and play department. So we're excited about this. So again, mark those dates down, March 19th and 20th and 21st. Fisher Catholic will have their spring musical, Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. So again, thank you both for being with us. It's been a real joy having you here. Appreciate it very much. Good luck up there, too.
Thank you.
And enjoy the New York trip, too.
Thank
You can
you.
stay here and play ball.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thanks for joining us on Fairfield Today.
Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.